Your legs are disappearing. Not visibly, not overnight, but silently at the cellular level right now as you watch this. After the age of 60, most people lose between 1 and 2% of their leg muscle mass every single year. And here is the part that will stop you cold. The majority of that loss happens not because of inactivity, but because of what you eat in the first hour of every morning. The cells in your quadriceps and calves are starving, and the cruel irony, the breakfast most seniors have been told is healthy may actually be accelerating that loss. Today, we are counting down 5 foods you need to eat every morning to halt this process and rebuild functional strength. And number 1 is something most people would never, ever expect. Stay with me until the end because that one will change everything. I'm Dr. William Lee, and I've spent over 22 years as a specialist in geriatric nutrition and musculoskeletal medicine. And I've worked with thousands of patients between the ages of 55 and 84, and I've watched this problem devastate quality of life and reverse itself when people made the right changes. A landmark study out of Tufts University followed 14,000 adults over age 60 for a decade. It found that dietary protein timing in the morning was the single strongest predictor of preserved leg muscle mass, stronger than exercise frequency, stronger than supplementation, stronger than almost anything else. Before we get into the countdown, I want to hear from you. Drop your age in the comments right now and tell me, is it your legs that concern you most? Your balance? Your ability to get up from a chair without using your arms? Now, this community is full of people who understand exactly what you're going through. You are not alone in this. Here is what is actually happening inside your body. Starting around age 50, a process called sarcopenia begins. That's the progressive age-related loss of skeletal muscle mass and function. By age 70, the average person has lost 25 to 30% of their peak muscle fiber count. In the legs, which carry your entire body weight and are your primary independence muscles, this loss is catastrophic in slow motion. 2 biological changes drive this. First, your body's anabolic sensitivity, its ability to actually use dietary protein to build and repair muscle, drops by nearly 40% after 65. Second, your muscle stem cells, called satellite cells, become less responsive to nutritional signals. Think of it like a phone with a broken antenna. The signal is there, but the message isn't getting through. The foods in this countdown work by repairing that antenna. They restore your body's ability to hear the rebuild signal. For decades, seniors were told to avoid whole eggs because of cholesterol. That advice has now been thoroughly dismantled by science, and for older adults trying to preserve muscle, avoiding egg yolks may have been one of the most damaging dietary recommendations ever made. The science is this: whole eggs contain something egg whites alone do not, leucine-bound phospholipids inside the yolk. Think of leucine as the ignition key for muscle protein synthesis. Without it, the engine doesn't start. The yolk doesn't just add protein, and it amplifies the protein signal your muscles receive. A study from the University of Illinois involving 280 older adults found that those who consumed 2 whole eggs within 45 minutes of waking showed a 42% greater muscle protein synthesis response compared to those eating egg whites only. Meet Harold, 71, a retired contractor from Akron, Ohio. Harold had given up egg yolks 15 years ago on his cardiologist's old advice. When he reintroduced 2 whole eggs every morning, he noticed within 8 weeks that climbing his back porch stairs felt easier, and his physical therapist confirmed measurable quad strength gains at his next assessment. Eat 2 whole eggs, not whites, within 45 minutes of waking. Scrambled, poached, or soft-boiled. Avoid frying in seed oils. Pair with black coffee, which enhances leucine uptake through adenosine receptor pathways. Synergy tip: combine with number 4 on this list and you double the muscle protein synthesis signal. These 2 work together at the cellular level in a way neither can achieve alone. Most people know protein is important. What most people don't know is that the type of protein and when it reaches your muscles matters more than the total amount. This is where full-fat Greek yogurt becomes one of the most powerful morning foods a senior can eat. Greek yogurt is rich in casein protein, a slow-digesting, sustained-release form that trickles amino acids into your bloodstream over 3 to 5 hours. Think of it like a time-release capsule compared to the flash and fade of whey. For older adults whose muscle protein synthesis windows are shorter and less efficient, this sustained delivery system is not a convenience, it is a biological necessity. A 2021 study from McMaster University in Canada followed 410 adults over age 60 for 16 weeks. Those who consumed 200 grams of full-fat plain Greek yogurt each morning lost 31% less leg muscle mass compared to the control group, even when caloric intake was identical. Patricia, 67, a retired school teacher from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had been using low-fat flavored yogurt for years, thinking she was doing the right thing. When she switched to plain, full-fat Greek yogurt and added it to her morning routine, she told me that within 3 months, she felt structurally different. Her words, her balance improved and her knees tracked better during walks. Use 150 to 200 grams of full-fat plain Greek yogurt, no added sugar, add a pinch of sea salt and a few berries for palatability. Eat it within your first hour of waking. Synergy tip, add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your Greek yogurt. The omega-3s in flax reduce the muscle inflammation that blocks protein absorption, making this combination significantly more effective than either alone. I want to pause here and say something directly to you. If you've been watching this long, it tells me something important. You are the kind of person who takes their health seriously. You're not waiting for a crisis. You're acting now. That's exactly who this channel is built for. Subscribe CTA, natural placement. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. Every week I release real, peer-reviewed science for adults over 60. No gimmicks, no product promotions. Just the truth about what your body needs. Now. Wild salmon, and specifically why eating it in the morning instead of dinner, may be one of the most overlooked interventions in senior muscle preservation. Salmon is exceptional not just for its protein content, 25 grams per 100 gram serving, but for its omega-3 fatty acid profile, specifically EPA and DHA. These fatty acids don't just reduce inflammation, they directly activate a genetic pathway called mTORC1, which is the master switch for muscle protein synthesis in aging cells. Think of mTORC1 like the foreman on a construction site. When it's active, the building crew shows up. When it's suppressed by chronic inflammation, the site goes quiet. A Harvard-affiliated research program studying 7,800 adults over 65 found that those with the highest omega-3 intake in the morning hours had 38% greater preservation of lower body muscle mass over 5 years compared to those who consumed equivalent protein without omega-3s. Robert, 74, a retired engineer from Portland, Oregon, had been a dinner salmon person his whole life. When he shifted one salmon serving to his morning canned sockeye on whole grain toast with a drizzle of olive oil, his walking speed, measured clinically, improved by 0.2 meters per second in 6 months. That number sounds small. In geriatric medicine, it is the difference between independence and assisted living. 3 to 4 ounces of wild salmon or canned sockeye salmon in the morning, 3 to 4 times per week. Canned is perfectly fine. Look for sockeye packed in water or its own oil. Synergy tip, combined with a squeeze of lemon. Vitamin C dramatically increases the bioavailability of the amino acids in fish protein and prepares your gut lining to absorb number 2 on this list. This one surprises almost everyone. It is not a protein source. It is not a classic muscle food, and yet the research on Tart cherry for older adults preserving leg muscle is, frankly, some of the most compelling I have encountered in 2 decades of practice. Here is the mechanism. Sarcopenia and muscle loss there is not just about insufficient building, it is equally about excessive breakdown. After age 60, a protein called myostatin becomes hyperactive. Think of myostatin as a demolition crew that never stops working, even when new construction is happening. Tart cherries contain extraordinarily high concentrations of anthocyanins, specifically cyanidin-3 glucoside, which have been shown to directly suppress myostatin signaling. A study from the University of Vermont tested 340 adults between ages 62 and 79 who consumed 30 milliliters of tart cherry concentrate daily for 12 weeks. MRI measurements showed a 29% reduction in muscle breakdown markers and a statistically significant increase in type 2 muscle fiber retention. Those are the fast twitch fibers responsible for explosive movement, standing from a chair, catching yourself from a fall. Eleanor, 69, a retired nurse from Minneapolis, Minnesota, began adding tart cherry concentrate to her morning water after reading about it in a patient study. Within 10 weeks, her nighttime leg cramps, which had plagued her for years, stopped almost entirely, and her leg press numbers in physical therapy improved by 18%. Take 30 milliliters of pure tart cherry concentrate, not juice, not dried cherries, concentrate, mixed into 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning before your first meal. Synergy tip, take your tart cherry concentrate alongside your morning magnesium if you use one. Magnesium enhances the mitochondrial effects of anthocyanins, extending their anti-breakdown activity by several additional hours. I told you number 1 would surprise you, and I stand by that. Because when most people hear the word collagen, they think of skin creams, they think of beauty marketing, they think of something for wrinkles. What they do not think of is their quadriceps. That is a catastrophic oversight. And the research of the last 6 years has completely overturned our understanding of what collagen does inside aging muscle tissue. Here is what is actually happening. Muscle tissue is not just muscle fibers. It is a complex matrix, and collagen protein makes up the scaffolding that holds everything together. This scaffolding, called the extracellular muscle matrix, is responsible for transmitting the force your muscle generates into actual movement. And when this matrix degrades, which it does rapidly after age 60 because collagen synthesis drops by 1.5% per year, your muscles can contract, but the force dissipates. Think of it like a trampoline with a rotting frame. The spring mechanism still works, but the structure cannot deliver the bounce. Collagen peptides, taken with vitamin C, and this combination is absolutely critical, directly stimulate fibroblasts in the muscle matrix to rebuild that scaffolding. Vitamin C is not optional here. Without it, the collagen peptides cannot be integrated into functional tissue. It is like having bricks but no mortar. A landmark study from Penn State University followed 190 older men and women, average age 72, for 24 weeks. Those who consumed 15 grams of collagen peptides with 50 milligrams of vitamin C each morning, 45 minutes before light activity, showed a 53% greater increase in leg press strength compared to a placebo group performing identical exercise. 53%, not from a pharmaceutical intervention. From breakfast, this works best when taken 30 to 45 minutes before any physical activity, even a morning walk. That timing window is when muscle fibroblasts are most responsive to nutritional signals. George, 77, a retired school principal from Nashville, Tennessee, came to me unable to rise from a chair without pushing off with both hands. His leg strength had declined so severely over 5 years that he had installed grab bars throughout his home. After 20 weeks of 15 grams of collagen peptides with a small glass of orange juice every morning before his walk, George stood up from a standard dining chair, hands on his lap. For the first time in 3 years, he called me from his kitchen to tell me. I will never forget that call. Take 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides mixed into warm water or a smoothie with 50 milligrams or more of vitamin C. A small glass of orange juice or a kiwi works perfectly. Take it 30 to 45 minutes before movement. Every single morning. Synergy tip, add a pinch of glycine powder to your collagen peptide drink. Glycine is the most abundant amino acid in collagen, and supplementing it directly accelerates the fibroblast response, amplifying everything this combination already does. I want to talk to you for just a moment, not as a doctor presenting data, but as someone who has sat across from thousands of people in your position. Losing muscle in your legs is not just a physical loss. Every stumble, every staircase that becomes a negotiation, every time you reach for a wall that wasn't there before, that is a quiet assault on your sense of self, on your dignity, on the recognition that you are still you, fully and completely, regardless of your age. And what I need you to understand, what the science unambiguously confirms, is that this process is not inevitable. It is not simply what aging looks like. It is what nutritional neglect looks like in an aging body, and nutritional neglect can be corrected. You are not too old for this. The studies I cited today included adults in their late 70s and early 80s, showing meaningful, measurable improvement. George was 77. Eleanor was 69. Patricia was 67. They are real. Their results are real. Your legs carried you through every decade of your life. Give them the tools they are asking for. Now, tell me in the comments, which of these 5 will you try first? And drop your age. I read every single one. If this video gave you something valuable, subscribe every week. Real science for adults over 60, delivered with the respect you deserve.